Hi everyone, so I've been asked to share a little bit about how to best support the immune system during this time where everybody's trying to avoid getting sick. Now, just to remind us, the immune system is a very complex, very intricate system that is responsible for keeping us safe from things like viruses and bacteria, for example. So if you are exposed to a virus or a bacteria, your immune system will launch an attack, and it's quite fascinating what happens in this process. All kinds of chemicals are released and toxins to try and reduce the spread of the infection. Your body even has special cells called phagocytes that actually eat up particles like bacteria, for example. There's even something called nets that some of your immune system cells release, and they literally look like a net, almost like a fishing net, to kind of trap bacteria in like goo to prevent them from spreading further. So there are a whole bunch of things that happen in the immune response, and part of that is ramping up your body's temperature to kind of make your body less or more hostile towards things like viruses and bacteria, for example. They don't like to grow in very hot environments. So ramping up a fever helps to slow the spread of things like viral infections. So your body is working hard to try and protect you and to keep you safe. Now, this is important, as you can imagine, if you are faced with what we call an acute infection, meaning something like a virus or a bacteria that you need to fight off now. But we've been saying over and over that people with underlying medical conditions, or what we call comorbidities, are more at risk for getting more severe forms of COVID-19 infection. Now, why is that? Well, the reason is because underlying chronic diseases is chronic inflammation. Now, while we need acute inflammation to keep us safe, chronic inflammation is kind of like the slow burning fire that never goes out. And there's just the constant activation of certain immune cells. And so when your body's really faced with an infection that it needs to respond and respond well and quickly, that immune response is kind of dampened down. And the immune system cells are kind of like, yeah, but we're already activated, so why should we now launch an attack against this virus or the bacterium? So that's oversimplifying, but basically that's what's happening in chronic inflammation, and why people with chronic diseases are more at risk for severe and serious infections, especially with COVID-19. So what can we do to best support our immune systems? Well, the ideal thing would have been to start doing this a long time ago, but you can still start to make good decisions today that can help to support your body and to help you to heal, and then in turn also to help you fight infection. So the first thing that I'd like to highlight is the importance of the food you are eating. Remember, the food that you are eating is information to your body cells. It is instructing them, it's giving them the nutrients and the nutrition that they need to do the job that they need to do. And you can appreciate the immune system in particular is a very important job. And so making sure that you are eating well to support your health is very important at this time. So sticking to fresh whole foods, especially colorful fruits and vegetables. I like to say eat the rainbow. And the reason for that is because colorful food is loaded with things like antioxidants, which help to reduce inflammation. So more whole, fresh foods like fruits and vegetables, and less of the packaged foods, because packaged foods are quite high in sugar, and sugar dampens the ability of your immune system to respond. So certainly at this time, I would say reduce packaged and processed foods. Following on to that is to make sure that you are staying hydrated. Now, a lot of us are actually dehydrated and don't even know it. In fact, some of us are dehydrated and our bodies interpret that as hunger instead of thirst. So it's important for you to stay hydrated at this time, because if you were to face an infection, your body in fighting it is going to lose a lot of water. And so you need to make sure that you are on top of your hydration. And some of you may not know, how do you know how much water to drink? How do you know what's good for you? Because this does vary from person to person. But an easy way to know is by checking the color of your urine. If your urine is very dark, then it's likely that you are not getting enough fluids and that you should increase your fluid intake. Typically, adults need about 2 liters a day, but this will vary depending on age and physical activity, for example. So stay hydrated. The other thing is get good sleep. So we are so sleep deprived, and it is reducing our ability to fight infections. So especially during this time of lockdown, it's important for you to consider doing something like developing a routine. So go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time, develop a sleep routine, and try and get good quality sleep by reducing the amount of time you spend on your phone, especially within 2 hours of going to bed. And then you can also do things like journal before you go to bed, develop a routine before you go to sleep, but just do whatever it takes for you to get good quality sleep. The other thing is to exercise. There was a little bit of controversy earlier about, can we walk the dog? Should we not be walking the dog? I think that I'm going to say stay at home and stay inside and do not walk your dog, but that does not mean that you should not be active. So there are tons of videos that you can find on home workouts that you can do. Keep yourself moving. Now, what I'm about to say next is going to sound extremely ridiculous, especially in this time. But seriously, guys, this is the perfect opportunity for us to think about ways to start managing our stress a bit better. Because at this time, especially if we panic, our stress hormones are going to be flooding our systems, and that is going to reduce our body's ability to fight infections. Stress hormones like cortisol, for example, reduce our body's immune system functioning, and we really don't want to be doing that, especially at this time where we're trying to avoid getting sick. So some people also ask me, well, what supplements should I be taking? And the one that I usually recommend is vitamin C. But of course, vitamin C is sold out in most places at the moment. So increase your citrus, guys. So lemons and oranges and mandarins and nectarines. But then you can also include things like chilies, which are also high in vitamin C, and strawberries are also high in vitamin C. So vitamin C is awesome to support your immune system. Zinc is also great to support your immune system. And the other thing is vitamin D. Now, because we're not going to be going outside a lot, a vitamin D supplement, especially in those people who are vitamin D deficient, is going to really help to make sure that your immune system is functioning optimally. So I hope that helps, and I really wish you all the best and take care of yourselves. Bye.